Beside me is Oliver. Welcome, Oliver. Mate, how are you doing?
Yeah, not so bad, buddy. Welcome to Imola, my friend. Welcome to Imola.
Yep, for the second time. Hopefully, this broadcast doesn't stop. There was a little bit of a technical error, but hopefully, it will continue. So, we've got the house out there, smoke. And how are you feeling for tonight's race? Are you excited?
Yeah, not so bad. Of course, Imola being a very technical and very tricky little circuit. This with curbs are not very wide or as attractive as they may seem. It's a very technical circuit, to say the least, but it's also got a very massive historical presence. And Smoke starts his lap now for our first run around Imola in Division 1 in the Haas machine.
There he is. So both Haas's qualified inside the top 10. Can they repeat it as we head down towards turn 2, 3 and 4? These corners come at you thick and fast. You want to be taking a lot of curb through there to try and maximise out the track. And here we are into the Villeneuve section. After the 50 metre board, flipped the car, we can a lot of speed. And now we're making our way towards Tosa, another famous corner where I think Juan Pablo Montoya and Michael Schumacher had their problems back in 2005, I believe it was, and we all saw what happened in the interview rooms as well. So we now make our way into the fast Alessandro Piratella and make our way downhill into the fast Acqua Minerale. No room for error whatsoever because it's so easy to validate, and plus it's so easy to spin on the exit, as plenty of us have done before in the past here in Imola. Now we're making our way towards the Variante Alta chicane. You want to be using a lot of curves through here, and let's see how we rotate the car. You don't want to be invalidating, otherwise you will ruin your lap time. And make our way now towards the Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Then the final two corners here, you break in just before the 50 metre board, just clipping the apex on the entry of both corners, trying not to get too greedy in the throttle, which he doesn't do, maximising all the track on the exit. And now the DRS line, the only DRS around here in Imola, and he crosses the line to go at 50.0. So it looks like a decent first lap for Smoke. Obviously it is the start of qualifying, so we see track evolution, we see the drivers get confident too. And Oliver, I will let you take it away because I need to find my glasses. I realised the downstairs, so I'll
Yeah, I
take
can
it
go
away.
through with NFR Case at the moment in the Ferrari. Of course, he is running one of the red cars as we run in the home race tonight, along with Alfa Romeo. So here goes Case round through this left-hander towards Acqua Minerale now. Let's see how much curve he's going. See how much he's going to attack this corner into fourth gear, kissing the curve on the outside, on the inside. They're going to work on the exit. Now comes this Variante Alta. How much he's going to take on the inside curve? Very a lot, but the car washes out there, and he loses a bit of time there. So the fast levels will be pretty much be gone now. But he can finish it off to set off his banker lap as he comes into the final two corners. Beautifully work on the exit, kissing the curve on the inside, gives the car a lot of room to work with on the outside of the corner. 1:15.0, not bad after he made his mistake there. It's MDJ is currently on his flying lap, one of the championship leaders. As he flies around now. Oh, is it a validation for MDJ? That's unfortunate for him. Let's have a look at Rogue Smithy. Rogue Smithy now is coming through now towards the final turn. Let's see how he does. Towards the line now in the Williams. It's going to be on 1:49. Goes into pole position.
Wow, decent lap time there for Rogue Smithy. I just came back and I've now got a clear view because I had to squint at the time machine. So here we are there. Rogue Smithy is on pole position then, ahead of Smoke there. I am a bit out of breath because I was running upstairs, so apologies about that, trying to get my breath back. I do believe somebody's just joined, hence why my timing tower is glitched, and MDJ now is about to make his way towards the line. I think he did invalidate me, you know, because he's gone for another run.
He validated through the Paratella
then, so it is a very tricky place to invalidate to. That's turn 9 and into turn 10. We saw a lot of people ride there too, and there was a lot of track limit violations. I remember back in the 2021 race. Obviously we've not been to Imola since 2022 after we had the floods last year in 2023, so hopefully we can get back racing here at this historical venue here tonight. Well, not tonight, but in real life action too. So MDJ then looks like he's going for another lap. Obviously he's going to go back to in the pit lane because he just invalidated the same place, it looks like. So we'll go on board with someone else.
Welcome back, Harry Kane, after a race absence.
Yes, indeed. So Harry Kane's absence was because he was playing football. So here he is back in the Formula 1 action, and it's very crucial for him at this stage of the season not to have any more absences. Same with MDJ, Glock and Berimi, because Berimi is only 3 points away from Harry Kane. Harry Kane's been overtaken by Glock, and MDJ has extended his championship lead over the rest of them. So Harry Kane's got to make sure he turns up, obviously with the right reasons, of course, because football, that's a good excuse to get away from the Formula 1 world, of course. But here we are with the flying. I'd say Dutchman there, he's not Dutch, he is Norwegian, has to make our way towards Ravazza 1, a bit wider Ravazza 1, he didn't really hook the apex, as you can see a car off the track, that's AlphaTauri. We've got Hurricane make his way towards the line and obliterates the time.
Well, if you want to come back with a bang, there you have it, as Remina, he's about to come towards the line, I'll go through Ravazza 2, let's see how we do, Jamie.
There he is then, in the second Red Bull. Bearing, we did finish on the podium, wasn't able to demote. Sorry about that, I was trying to find a stream and look for Bearimi at the same time, wasn't able to demote DJ from the race win, and Bearimi makes it a 1-2 for Red Bull. These two have been so close this season, it's unbelievable how close they are. So let's see how the championship works between those two, because they did say it's every race for itself, it's a free-for-all between those two, there's no favouritism whatsoever down in Red Bull. Whoever's in front has the advantage, and they're going to leave it like that until the last race of the season to see who is in front of the other and can help the other driver too. So it's a free-for-all right now, but it could go to one side in the next few races where one of them have to help each other win the championship.
Well, right now both Red Bulls are currently on equal pace moments as the driver starts coming in with the lap side. Aiden's moving from 50 with Mackett as well, 54 as well. We've got 50 zeros for Smoke and Cave as well. Smoke's qualifying pace in Japan was absolutely excellent last week. Looks like he really turns that out on his second run here, because I want to see him convert that into a bigger race performance after a good performance last week in Japan in qualifying.
Yeah,
especially Noldis as well.
Yeah, both Haas made it inside the top 10, and you pointed out Noldis, who's currently on a flying lap. But Jagamel has invalidated at the exit of turn 9. It is so frustrating that corner, because you want to carry with such great speed, but at the same time, just a bit too wide as well. So he'll be paying the price for that one and not get a lot of time on the board. Here is Noldis, according to my time and tower sheets. He's currently purple in the first sector as we approach turn number 9. He's lagging a bit, so I couldn't quite tell if he went wide or not. But according to the right hand side, you can see that it's still not orange, or not red, sorry, where it tells you if it's not. A cheeky slipstream up to the back of the Mercedes. It's a 49.7 as he makes his way down into the variant to outer chicane. If you clatter the curve too much, it will upset the balance of the car, and therefore you'll end up losing the rear end and spinning almost. As we make our way down into the final two corners at the Ravazza 1, you can see the white line there indicating that is the DRS, and we'll see plenty of DRS trades out here too as Noldis approaches the finish line. Let's see what pace he's got to offer tonight. It's P4 for him. He goes behind Rogue Smithy. Decent qualifying so far from the Canadian Scouser in P3.
Lays about to start is that now Glock is on his flying lap as well. Let's see how Glock does, because he's one of the main contenders tonight. Let's see how Glock does in the Mercedes. He's doing a very good consistent job at the moment in this championship fight. So let's go through this first sector now. Let's see what the first sector is going to be for Glock when he goes through the second chicane. Lovely, neat and tidy, carries so much speed as he heads towards Toza. 23.8. That's a very good first sector there, JB, for Glock.
And he matches Hurricane's time of a 23.8 in the first sector. So both Hurricane and Glock are level pegging in the first sector. 23.8 seems to be the fastest first sector we've seen so far. So we make our way downhill, down the drop, into Aquamelon, hit the inside curve there, rest it out on the outside. Very beautiful indeed from Glock. He's carrying the speed, he's hooking up in the right place at the right time as we approach Variant to outer chicane. Here we go then. You want to take a lot of curb in the first part, but not the second part, because if you take too much curb in the second part, that's when you lose the rear of the car. So we're coming downhill towards Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2. Let's see if this lap put Glock into first place or separated the Red Bulls then as he makes his way towards the line. What a lot of time is this going to be for Glock? It's going to be a 14.0 and 300 away from Hurricane.
He's about to cross the line now, and the McLaren as well as he goes into P5, so 14.7. So round about where Rogue Smithy is. Rogue Smithy's put an absolute belt of a time up there in P4. That's going to help out MDJ's chance as well. MDJ's not causing himself any favours. He's invalidated again.
MDJ said he's not a qualifying specialist, so it looks like this track is proving to be difficult for him, and this might play in the advantage of Hurricane and Bearimi, both Red Bulls. So MDJ has invalidated twice I think I've seen him do that, and unfortunately he has not got a lot of time on the board, so hopefully for his sake he get a lot of time up there, crucial for his championship fight. It's not easy to overtake around here, although it's a big straight and a DRS zone. I'm talking about in terms of the DRS chain. Look at Ramavaj there, you can see they lose the back end already before he clutches the curve there, carrying a lot of speed as well into that section as we make our way downhill from Ramavaj. He always picks up a podium, and look at that, he just rides the curb.
Oh dear, a little bit too wide. That's exactly what I did in the race last night. He beached the car on the outside and, well, enough to go into the sand, and you can make the sandcastles down there. Case with a very good lap there with a 14.7 up into P5. You don't have to see a Ferrari up in the top 5, but brilliant right there for Case.
Yeah, good lap time indeed for Quays. As there been multiple Ferrari drivers this season. Looks like the highest they've got so far is P5. Lord Danny Boy has put himself in P9. I think Mackett just crossed the line to go into P8. We're still awaiting times from both AlphaTauris. They both seem to be struggling, although Atlas is out on the circuit right now. I'm watching Jagermar going through Peratella turn 9.
Atlas go for a spun. Atlas go for a spun in the power end centre. Unfortunately had his tragic accident.
It looks like he touched the curb on the outside and spun the car, so that's a shame there for Atlas, but at least he spun in the first few corners, so if he wants to, he could go for it again with the fuel he has, and the tyres shouldn't be too bad. MDJ P4.
Much more like it, just up ahead of his teammate, so Rooksmith can play a big role in MDJ's race today. Let's see how Jagerbell will do in the Haas, go towards the final corner. It's a bit of a kink really, but here we go. P12, 15.1. Very good, decent lap time there for Jagerbell.
And Rogue Smithy's just done a 23.8 in the first set, so that matches level pegging with Harry Kane and Clark. He went a bit wide in Peratella, just didn't really hook up with the apex, but now we make our way downhill towards Accra Minerali, one of the fastest sections I've seen. I love that section so much, but it can be so frustrating when you lose the back end of the car by carrying too much speed. He's 2/10 up in this middle sector, so he's got a huge deficit in the final sector because the gap is 6/10 between MDJ and Rogue Smithy. So let's see if we can find any more time in this last sector, because it'll only be good enough for 14.5 unless he can do something in this final sector. First with that, didn't really hook up the apex, but second one he hits the apex very nicely, goes out wide, which you want to do to maximise the track, and now he makes his way towards the line. It's going to be a 14.4, so he found a 10th in that final sector, and he's up into P5. So the top four looks like they've got a good gap between themselves and the rest of the field. We're still awaiting times between Ramavaj and Jargon. We've seen the AlphaTauri Jargon out there, but it looks like he's struggling so far in this qualifying session. Same with his teammate down in P18, who hasn't set a representative lap time. Adams in P17 at 15.4, along with Burmeister, who makes another appearance here in SFR. We've got Laser and Nordus who are out there on their outlaps, and Laser there in P7 still looking for his first podium since the third race of the season. He's had a run of podiums in the first 3 races, but ever since then he's been known to miss the top 5 here in SFR, so people are looking to break that streak. He tried to do it in Brazil, but couldn't quite pay it off. He tried to do it back in Japan too, but was just a bit too far behind.
So the championship fight is starting to get away from Laser now, as the top 4 of MDJ, Berribi, Glock and Harry Kane all line astern in that top 5, in those top 4 positions. Laser really wants to solidify himself into that championship fight. He can do so. There's still time, but he needs a good run of races here to get that enormous. He needs a victory in this belt really, and for the other drivers to mess up. But he's got a good chance tonight, because Imola is a very penalty heavy circuit, so let's see what Laser does on his final lap. His second run here in Division 1 and Imola. Let's see how he does.
The defending champion this season is Laser after he won it after winning loads of races, just being on form. But ever since this season happened, it looks like he's lost his form, or other people got quicker. So turn 2, 3 and 4 looking very sharp indeed. We're making our way now towards the Villa chicane, flicking in at fast speed just after the 50-metre board. Open up the corner for this one, but slightly misses the apex there as we make our way down into Tulsa. 23.8, that's a bit slower what Rogue Smithy did in the first sector by about 800ths of a second there for Laser. But can he make it up as we make our way now into this fast left-hander we go at Peratella? You'll be very careful of track violations now. We plummet downhill going towards Acromena. That AlphaTauri will not certainly help. Lasers, he validates 2, unfortunately for him.
I think the AlphaTauri sort of puts him off a bit there, but I don't think it doesn't cause him so. Oh, Berini, 5 place grid penalty for illegal blocking.
and that was an Alfa Romeo who was behind him at the time, so they're quite close together, so they need to separate themselves out. We've got a lot of cars littering the circuit as they all prepare for their final laps here in qualifying. Nordis, I believe, is going for a lap, but he validates unfortunately. I think Mack is the next one. He went a bit wide through there, but hooks it really well in the exit there at turn 8 as we make our way now into turn 7 we go. That was turn 6 before, as it was a first sector of a 23.9, I believe I saw that was, as the Alpine driver makes his way uphill towards the blind crest of the left-hander. Let's see how he does there. You can see there's a Red Bull in front of us, and he gets out of the way very nicely. That's the problem, because these guys want to go early just in case they validate first lap. They always got that second lap to do so, but at the same time, with the track being so short, the problem is he goes 4/10 to the middle sector. That's not the problem, but the problem is that if you do that, you encounter a lot of traffic. It might put you off, they might be out of the way, but at the same time it does distract your eye, your viewing for the corners. We make our way now towards Ravazza 1 and Ravazza 2, so he is 4/10 up. It might be a 14.5, but can he find any more time in his final sector as Maki rounds the final corner to see what lap time he can set in the Alpine as he crosses the line now. It's a 14.3, so he found a bit of time in that last sector, puts himself in between both Williams in P5. Great lap indeed, as the rest set on for their final laps here in qualified. Who to watch? I'm not quite sure.
Glock is currently out on his flying lap first out of the top runners, so he's 14 thousandths per second slower than his previous time. But Remus going through that same section as well, so that he needs to minimise his penalty. MDJ is to start this lap. Harry Kane is to start this lap. So all the top guys are on their flying laps now. Glock will be the first of the top runners.
That wasn't what.
Glock made a mistake.
Yeah, I just went to a ball with him as I watched Harry Kane get a tow, but that was quite weird from the AlphaTauri, because he gave him a tow on that straight, then he stayed in the way at turn 2, 3 and 4 with his ERS off. So I'm not quite sure if he got that Harry Kane with his lap right behind him, or if he wanted to give him a tow all the way down that straight. But it was quite weird because he gave him dirty air in turn 2, 3 and 4. Now Harry Kane makes his way towards Aquamed very nicely hooked up on the apex there, as let's see the middle sector for him. It's 900 up, so despite getting turbulent air in the first sector, he is still up. You can see clattering the curves there, and you can see the exit very nicely done indeed. We've got a Alpine or Williams in front of us. Bearing me across the line to go in the pit lane. Glock is in the pit lane too, and we're watching Harry Kane to see if we try and extend that margin. There's an Alpine in front of us, and let's hope he gets out of the way. He might give him a bit of toe on the straight as he dives into the pit lane. Here he is. Harry Kane, can he make it to 13s? Yes, he can with a 13.8. That's a fantastic line, but what a comeback too. As once again, the Ferrari Quays goes into P5.
I'll tell you what, Quays is going to be bouncing for joy in the Ferrari. The Ferraris have had a miserable season, but that will definitely lift up the spirits in their home race. And I'll tell you what, Laser down in P11, that's a bit of a surprise there.
It is a tough circuit to get right here in qualifying. Absolutely hard to nail it, of course, but what a lap time from Harry Kane. A 13.8. He got held up in the first sector by an AlphaTauri. That would definitely disturb his turbulent air. And also in the final sector, the Alpine was in the way, but dived into the pit lane. So I'm not quite sure which AlphaTauri it was that gave him a tow, but it did help him just a bit. But I thought he'd get held up in the first sector, turn 2 and turn 3 and turn 4. So great qualifying indeed as Rokesmithy spins in style towards the line to end off this qualifying session, and we'll head into the race to see what action provides us. Glock says, such a bad track for main controllers, so expected to P3, P4 with a clean race. Yeah, Glock, it's a great attempt as well, because even though you're on pad, it's very hard to set up a lap time around here because it's so easy to mess up, whereas a wheel, it is fast and flowing. Oliver, are you on a pad or wheel, mate?
I'm a pad player. I'm the same as Glock. So yeah, it's not an easy circuit. It can be done, but a lot of finger precision to say the least.
Going to be precise as well with the way you flick it in through corners, want to count the speed as well. I find this track difficult. It's usually the Villeneuve chicane where you're going to have a wide entry towards that corner to open up the exit. That's where I struggle the most, and that's where a lot of people on the wheel tend to carry a lot of speed. Actually can flick it in with faster speed as well towards those corners. But the rest of the track is not so bad for me. Otherwise, yeah, it is a decent track. But bear in me, unless we don't get a restart for the race, you might have to take the pain to start down in P8.
Yeah, it is going to be a restart for the race. Barry will keep his position, so it'll be a restart.
Bear me then, we'll be happy about that one, because that's an unfair penalty, because the game doesn't know that these guys are backing each other up to try and heat their tyres warm their brakes as well and prepare for their flying lap. Obviously you don't get a penalty for that in real life, but the game thinks you're holding somebody up, which you're not. So that's why you get these 5 play script penalties occur on the screens.
It's a bit of a shame that one, to be honest, because it's one of those, isn't it? I'm gonna quit to my menu now. So it's one of those, and yes, it's EA Codemasters, but it is partnered with Formula One. It's the official Formula One game. I mean, with all the money F1 has, with the global spectacle and all that, it's a bit of a shame that all their video games is a little bit under par, to say the least.
Yeah, we still have issues like this occurring, but hopefully the next game gets sorted out. Obviously with F124, I think some of these guys have experienced the beta as well. Unfortunately, I didn't have the privilege to try the beta, but I did watch some of my mates have the F124 game. There is a lot of changes too, and obviously because it is a beta, can't really tell you the details because I don't want to be one of those people that gives it away.
Yeah, but I will give something away though, and it's not F1 related. I've been speaking to Ramavaj on a DM, and he said to me on an Avid chat, and this is a completely different sport. He's interested in bringing another type of championship into SFR. It's only a rumor at the moment. It's been loads of flying around, but apparently it
ACC?
could be
ACC?
No, it's not ACC. It's WRC to be coming to SFR as a championship. We don't know the final. He's going to speak to me about see what division, see what classes of car it's going to be in. But a rally to be coming to SFR. That's going to be somewhat interesting to see for SFR in the near future, because we like to expand. We'd like to expand on the league itself, and you never know. It could be a success, it could be a downer. But let's get your thoughts, Jamie. A rally championship. What's your thoughts?
It's been good for Rogue Smithy as he tends to spin a lot. No, I'm joking, Smithy. Please, I'm joking. I'm joking, Smithy. I'm joking. Don't take it personally, mate. But yeah, it is something new, and we never know unless we don't try. So I am looking forward to it. If there is a rally championship, it could be very interesting. Could be something brand new, and we'll see how it goes when we do officially open the championship if it does start.
It's funny because I actually checked the pricing difference, and for F124 pounds, WRC is around 45 quid in general. That's a big difference for a video game, to say the least. As Harry Kane joins us. Hello, Harry Kane. Welcome.
Hello.
And how are you doing, mate? How do you feel for this race?
It's not my favorite track, but I think I got a good qual run, and yeah, trying to build on that.
You missed a race last week, and that has consequences for the championship. It could make or break a championship title. So, would you regret it, or are you using the next few races to try and push as hard as you can to make that deficit up?
Yeah, I did really want to do the last race, but something came up and I couldn't. I do regret it, but yeah, I think I need to gain some places back. Try to push as hard as I can, and yeah, take as many wins and points as possible.
Did you win in football?
How was the qualifier? Carry on.
Did you win in football last week, Harry Kane? Or Matthias?
What did you say?
Did you have a good time in football last week?
Yeah, no, a bit not, yeah.
Alright, Sal, but what's your thoughts going into tonight's event then?
Yeah, I felt the balance was perfect in the car. I missed a bit in the hairpin in the start of sector 2, but I got a great toe in the first sector, so I managed to get pole, and I'm happy with that. But I don't think pole is the optimal position. Maybe P2 or P3.
And with Laser starting down P11, MTJ is going to be out there, Glock, and your teammates as well. Is it going to be a close fight in the front? Are your guys going to keep it all nice and clean and sensible? Or is it going to be a very chaotic, very frantic start to the race?
Yeah, I think it will be a clean start. Glock may be pushing a bit to get that P2 and P1 position. He usually fights a bit more than us in the start, but I think we can keep it clean.
Hopefully it'll be a clean race too, and you saw the Japanese Grand Prix MDJ take the win and extend the championship lead. If you did race in Japan, how do you think that race would have gone for you? Is it a track you like? I know it's good for the first sector being on a wheel.
Yeah, I think I did practice till it. I think I was a bit quicker than my teammate, so I think I could have been up there. But yeah, it's unfortunate, and yeah, I'll just try to push harder now.
You got a bit of advantage because you and your teammate are P1 and P3, whereas your main championship rivals are behind you, and MDJ being in P4 as well. So that is an advantage that you guys will have, and there'll be a big DRS trade too to sort it out. So what is your? Well, I'm not going to ask you what is your strategy plans, because obviously that'll give it away with other drivers in the chat such as Glock listed in the stream. But just wish you the best of luck, mate.
Yeah, thanks. I think the strat will be to try to win it with a 1-2 with Red Bull.
And Lord Daddy Boy just said Harry shooting shots at Per Eby.
Yeah, I'll try to not take him out this time.
Yeah, hopefully not, mate, because Red Bull are having a great time in the constructors, but it's not over in the championship because you got a Williams in the way that you have to fight. Do you think that MDJ will be a threat this race?
Yeah, I think all the top drivers will be a threat this race. They're all quick, and this is not my favorite track, so I think pretty much everyone in the top 5 has a chance to win this.
You better get going then.
Join your teammate.
Yeah, bye.
Goodbye.
Luck.
Goodbye, Harry. Good luck, mate.
That was nice words. That was actually pretty cool. To be honest, a pre-match before the race start, pre-race thoughts. Pretty good to hear from Harry Kane, one of the championship contenders. Give his thoughts. It's pretty good to hear.
What I noted in that conversation too, that he said Glock will be fighting quite hard because the rest of them don't. So I presume that Harry Kane will not fight too hard against Glock, judging what you saw in Brazil as well, how that turned out. So do you think that'll be the case?
I think, yeah, I was just about to mention Brazil after Glock was quite aggressive in the opening laps in Brazil. He can't afford to do that in Imola. Luckily, in Brazil, there is a few places there's got runoff. This one, it's an all-out classic grass to gravel. So, and there's plenty of places you can lose the car or lose plenty of time. So Glock might need to play a little bit more safe tonight, and you can play a bit more aggressive at the end.
We'll see who gets a better start and it all affords, because if Glock gets ahead of Harry Kane, then let's see if Harry Kane sits behind him and waits for the opportunity later in the race and try and get back at him. And talk about the man himself. Glock says it's racing, but I always try to give space. Well, you didn't give me space back in Singapore, Glock, when we raced each other. No, I'm kidding, but you did. But yeah, Glock, are you ready for our race tomorrow? You ready to get beaten again, Glock, for the 3rd time in a row in Belgium? Top few guys will probably pull away anyway, says Glock. So Glock started himself, but hopefully he can stay in that train, because it's always entertaining when the top guys at the front fight it out for the championship.
Langfell means Long Mountain in English. Never knew that was a thing.
There's a guy called Het Bompje, and Glock says you have to race first. Yeah, I'm a full-time driver now, Glock. I'm in the Alpine, so I'm going to come for your championship, mate. If you don't win it here, I'm not going to make sure you don't win it in the next one too. But I was going to say, yeah, there's a guy called Het Bompje I commentate with. He's Dutch, and Het Bompje means a tree, a massive tree. So yeah, you learn a lot of things, and Langfell means long mountain.
You're branching out, definitely. Right, okay, so Imola, narrow circuit, technical corners. Overtaking is possible. You've got to play it safe though to play it very well. ERS saving as well is going to be a factor as well. If you're in that DRS train, that could definitely be an advantage. If you're in the DRS train, you can definitely play it safe. Tires is another thing as well. It's going to be hard to medium strategy, where you can stretch the hards out around 22 to 23 laps. That could work, but it depends if you're very good at tire saving.
And also, what to watch out for in this race is track limits. Track limits is going to be absolutely brutal around here, and a lot of drivers, I believe, will pick up penalties. It's just so difficult. You've got to pay attention 100% around here in Imola, so you've got to watch out for track limits too. As a lot of drivers in the past have been caught out when I've been commentating here in Imola. And Glock says, I'm not winning this, haha, but Wednesday I'm in a decent position with a couple of races left. So hopefully I can put a dent in your championship tomorrow, Glock.
Fighting talk, I love it.
What I don't like is I commentate over Glock, and I'm gonna act all nicey, unbiased, but I hate him when I'm racing him. I hate everybody like him, DJ. I don't like it's a rivalry, of course, so you have a tension. There's a lot of tension between drivers, but when I'm commentating, you just gotta sit back and relax and have a bit of banter.
Oh, definitely, yeah. You could have a good bit of banter with the drivers, definitely. Give all of those in there. So, is it going to be a tactical race today? Is it going to be a full-on race? I think it's going to be more of a tactical race today, especially down to tyres and ERS saving, and especially track limits. Those are the three main factors for this race, going into this race. So I think it's going to be more of a strategical race than rather full-on. Mind you, the Division 1 drivers like to go very aggressive to give us the most entertaining race possible. So let's see how it happens. I mean, Mexico was an absolute all-time classic when it comes to racing. That was incredible. So let's see how Imola will bring. But before we go to China for next weekend, Qatar 2 weeks after, because they've got two very fun circuits coming up in the next couple of weeks.
I've got a lot of information about Qatar as I raced there on Sunday. I started in P3, but the DRS trade, I stayed out 2 laps later. The DRS trade, I didn't get the undercut, obviously. The guys got an undercut of me pitting earlier, and it really hurt me being in the DRS trade because wasn't able to move forward. So, yeah, we'll see a lot of DRS trades there. But Ramafaj is in last place. I'm not quite sure if he was there in the last qualifying, but in this new lobby he's in last place, so he did get the best of qualifiers of Ramavaj. We do see him have a tendency to be on the podium in previous races. He's picked up a lot of podiums this season. Let me have a check, because he's definitely been up there quite a few times. I think he's won a race back at the Hungarian Grand Prix, and he's currently sitting at P9 in the championship with 6 podiums to his name. So yeah, Ramavaj has definitely had a lot of podiums, but he starts in P20, so it might be a bit difficult, but the rest of them are on the hard compound tyres. And where is Glock? There he is. He's
Glock
down
is
there.
in P2.
No, Glock is on the track.
Oh.
He's further down the field.
He must have made a mistake, or he must have left a little bit late.
He's either spun at turn 1 or turn 2, but he is making the places back. So yeah, I saw Red Bulls and I saw them 1 and 2, so I was like, something must have happened to Glock. But it's going to be an interesting race. Samid has also had some decent pace. Let's not exclude him as well, because he was picked up a podium back at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and also he was there in Japan as well, fighting with Noldus. Noldus is currently down at P15, so not the qualifying he would have hoped for after being on a high back at the Brazilian Grand Prix or Japanese Grand Prix. Martin's on the 16th place, Burmeister down in 18th, so not a good result there for both Aston Martins in P15 and P19. And we've got 2 medium runners here in this race, very interestingly, which is Smoke and Ramavaj. So watch out for those in the opening stage of this Grand Prix. Laser has got to make up a lot of ground, and both Ferraris inside the top 10. We usually do see him outside the top 10. They have been struggling recently, but Quace joining in, stepping in, I think, for Xenom, is in P6, and let's see what he can do for Ferrari.
Yeah, so all the drivers behind now. Quays needs a very sensible start, to say the least. He needs to get the car parked up absolutely perfectly. Under that 0.3 mark, obviously 0.4, 0.3 mark, to get the car perfectly lined up. If he gets 0.1, then he was an absolute magician. So let's see how all these drivers can do. Quays needs an absolute sensible start, and Glock will be having the outside line going into he's going to have the inside line, so he needs an absolute launcher of a start here to get himself ready for this race. And you can see he's actually angled his car a lot more to the inside. That's interesting.
Yeah, last time we saw Mercedes and Red Bull close together in Imola was back at the 2021 Grand Prix. We all saw what happened at turn 2. Is there going to be any contact as we're underway for Imola Grand Prix? So let's see who gets a better start off the line. Glock has immediately jumped Hurricane. There we are, better camera angle this time. As we make our way down into turn 2, there's Simon on the outside of Barry. As we go into turn 2, the Hurricane there has got the inside line, but there's contact made and Simon spun. He's made contact there, he's already out. But he's still in this race, but he's dropped all the way down into 19th place, unfortunately, so there's not enough room for both of them. And Glock remains in the lead ahead of Hurricane. We've got Barry in P3. I'm not quite sure if there's any damage there on the side pod of that Red Bull. It was heavy contact indeed, just not enough space there to go wheel to wheel in turn 2, turn 3. But the nature of this track, we can see the Alfa Romeo Ramavaj up the inside. He's made up 5 places already from P20 to P5, P15, sorry, ahead of Martin, who's dropped down a place or 2. Noldus has had a horrendous start too. He's down into P17 there, and Burmeister and Simon Weiss down for 19. So that's a shame for Simon there. He jumped Berimi, but he couldn't get the jump on the other Red Bull.
Rogue Smithy had an absolute excellent start, made up 3 places at the start after the unfortunate incident with Saman, but he's right up behind Draugen, who made up 2 places at the start, who's behind MDJ. So Rogue Smithy with a really good getaway in there at the start.
It looks like Adams there has been swapped on the curb there as he got a bad exit, and now Martin and his own teammate Noldus ahead of him, so he's down into P17. Is the Aston Martin driver.
Oh, MDJ got very squeedily out of the Ratza, and that's going to give Dragon a chance.
And now Draugen is all over the back of the Williams there as we make our way down into turn 2. This is turn 1 right here, this left-hander, which is not really a corner. This is the proper braking zone down into turn 2. Laser's got ahead of Lord Danny Boy, so he's made up 3 places there in 2 laps. Thanks to Samid there in P19 who spun at the exit of turn 2. So MDJ is right behind Berimi, but obviously not going to make a move. So Glock there got a perfect launch, having the inside line, angling his car towards the right hand side there, more tighter as well to try and get the best launch. And Burmeister is out of the race, says that's in the pit lane, so no safety cars will be deployed. So unfortunately for the Dutchman, he is out of the race already.
That's pretty unfortunate for him. So we've got the top 4 of the championship contenders in the top 4. We've got Glock ahead, and the 2 Red Bulls, and that's Barry making a mistake there, and Aqua Minerale. But MDJ was very good on the brakes there. I hope he's got no wing downs for that. Draugen on look down the inside and running on the outside. Let's give Smithy a chance. Smithy goes into P5.
Draugen had a sneak up the inside there but compromised his own line, and now he's got Maki all over the back of him now alongside him. So Draugen almost lost 2 places, about to lose 2 if Maki gets this move successfully, but Draugen there trying to stick around the outside, which he does in Ravazza too. So that was very close there to losing another place after trying to overtake MDJ, but it didn't quite go well as he got out of shape into the next corner where DRS is enabled. Yellow flags in that first sector because Burmeister's car has came back on the circuit. But as we lead then, Glock leads them away. Ramavaj is ahead of his own teammate then. So Ramavaj 7 places there in the first few laps of this race, on course, trying to get himself inside the top 10. The regular podium sitter here in SFR doing a great job once again. And Ramavaj and Smoke on the medium compound tyres. There was only 2 starts on the mediums as Burmeister has retired from this race then. So lap 3, DRS is enabled. At last is ahead of Adams. He's got himself up into 7th place ahead of the Aston Martin driver, who seems to be struggling. He's lost a few places here at this stage of the Grand Prix, so hopefully he can get them back and charge his way forwards. But here we are then. Glock is not able to pull away from Hurricane. He's got to suffer in the DRS of both Red Bulls and P2 and P3. But I think both Red Bulls are placed perfectly, as Atlas has had a spin at looks like Peratella at the exit of turn 7. But both Red Bulls are placed perfectly ahead of Williams there. Try and keep him in P4 if you can.
I think the Red Bulls were most likely to play this tactically than what I would see, because they wouldn't want to attack right now. Otherwise they'll be wasting ERS, and not to mention DRS and tire life as well. But looks like Harry Kane's going to go the opposite. I'm saying he's going to go right side the outside of Glock, and he's going to take the lead of the Grand Prix.
Yes, he is. Can Barry make it a 1-2? Yes, he's about to, but he backs out of it. Glock is late to the brakes too, not risking a move early in this race to go alongside the Mercedes driver. We know he's going to be very feisty. Lord Danny Boy's dropping down the order too. Looks like he's had a spin, so he's off the track at turn 3. He's rejoined in 15, but there's another Ferrari's off the track too. Both Ferraris had a problem in the same corner, it seems like, and they're down in 15th and 17th, so that's a shame there for both of them. Maybe did they get close together? I'm not quite sure.
Well, I don't know to say the case. It looks like they got too close together. We're not really too sure, but MDJ and Rogue Smithy, they'll be happy to do 15 round P4, P5 at the moment. They'll want to be saving the ERS, knowing them. They'll probably save the tyres, saving the ERS before for a later attack. We're in very early stages of this race. We're only on lap 4 after 32. So both Williamses will want to keep it okay. Rogues MTJ had a bit of a poor exit there coming out for the anti-alta.
I think Harry Kane.
Sorry?
I think Harry Kane had a similar issue at the final corner, not the final corner, the variant out chicane 2, he had a bad exit and that allowed Glock to be all over the back of his gearbox, and once again we head on to lap 5 out of 32. Glock has the DRS there. What's important for Glock, he mustn't allow the other Red Bull to get past him. He's got to make sure he stays in second place, or first if he wants to stay second, try and overtake Harry Kane later this race, but he must not let that Red Bull overtake him, otherwise it'll be very difficult as one of the Ferraris has retired in the pit lane, so that's one of them out. And Quay had a fantastic qualifying, had made a problem and made a mistake in turn 3 which cost him.
Yeah, look at this, the top 5 all so close together. It's just a massive concertina at the moment. It's like a massive multicolored snake of top 5 cars all within 5/10 of each other. It's unbelievable to see. Let's see how they go for Aqua Minerale. All nice and decent tie at the moment. They all want to play it safe for the moment. We're very early stages. Drauga sniffing the back of Rogue Sniffy as well. They're all playing it safe at the moment, which is good to see.
Good to see indeed, and Dragon is trying to reclaim P5 after being overtaken by Rogue Smithy because he made a mistake and therefore Rogue Smithy pounced on him, and Ramavaj is up into P10. Where was that? That's the exit of the chicane there, so not quite sure if Ramavaj got a decent exit or Yagamal had a bit of an oversteer moment and allowed Ramavaj to get past it. But here we are, they're on the straight, once again a massive DRS train from P1 to P8 there with the media runner smoking P9, but looks like MDJ's poised to make a lunge at the second Red Bull, and here comes Glock to retake the lead of this race. He puts himself back into P1 ahead of Harry Kane there, and MDJ does not overtake his championship rival indeed, so he stays in P4 for the time being. So we're so frustrated for MDJ being 4th in the DRS train because he could be carrying the same speed down the straight or not able to move it forward. Somebody asked me in the podium interview, because I finished on the podium, and the commentator asked me how frustrated is it to be in the DRS train because essentially you're going absolutely nowhere, and I could answer that question easily because I said it was absolutely frustrated. You can't move anywhere, you're just following each other for a long period of time without overtaking.
It's one of those things, isn't it, when you're in equal car performance, isn't it? You're all performing at the same speed, the same package. It's all down to your drivability and see if you can actually pull off these overtakes, these moves, the different lines are taking on the track. Laser is saving loads of ERS here, doing a fantastic job at the moment. MDJ is doing a very good job at the moment. Berry's falling slightly behind now, 14th a second. Glock is putting a very good lap, putting a very good gap away from Harry Kane, but Harry Kane's did very well through Ravazza and is going up to Glock once more, but looks like MDJ wants to get past that Red Bull. Not going to happen. Rogue Smithy looks a lot more closer to MDJ than MDJ looks closer to Berimi.
Yeah, I don't think Rogue Smithy's going to attack his teammate knowing he's in a championship fight, and Rogue Smithy's scenario, he's down there at the back of the championship. At the same time, Rogue Smithy wants to score as many points as he can, try and keep it nice and tidy. This is his best position so far here in Imola because he had a good result, I think, back at the... well, he was up there in the top 10 in Monza Grand Prix, but it all went downhill after a battle with Berimi, and they both made contact indeed. But Rogue Smithy in a high position once again. He's got the pace, has Rogue Smithy. We've seen it plenty of times. He's always had the pace, but it's just consistency, his temper, his driving indeed. But hopefully he can keep it nice and clean, can the Canadian Scout. So he's got Dragon all over the back of him too, like keeping the pressure on is the AlphaTauri. The AlphaTauri is looking to pounce if Rogue Smithy makes a mistake because he wants that place back in P5. He's all over the back of him, but I don't think he'll go for the chicane because it's not a good overtaking place to go for unless you're fully alongside and ahead. As we make our way now into this particular part of the section, there's a Red Bull off the track. That's Berimi, and he's been overtaken by MDJ. That's a very costly mistake indeed. Lord Daddy Boy has had a spin at Tulsa down there in P18. But both Red Bulls now are split up. Hurricane MDJ has split up both Red Bulls. This is going to be a crucial point in the race.
Yeah, so it looks like Berimi got a little bit too greedy over the curves there. And look at this, and Harry Kane's going to take on Glock now for the lead.
Indeed, so Harry Kane then race leader once again, but this is very good for MDJ splitting up both Red Bulls because both Red Bulls were going to work together to not overtake each other.
Here we go, MDJ versus Glock. They've been having so much feisty action during the course of the season. Here we go again, MDJ versus Glock.
One man who's also on a charge is the man in P9. Ramovaj started in P20 up to P9 already in 8 laps time with no help or safety cars but other people's mistakes. He kept it nice and clean. Has Ramovaj. He's just overtaken Smoke up into turn 3 and now he's up into P9, a bit far away from Laser. Laser is in that DRS train of course, so can Ramovaj gain in the corners but he'll lose out for sure the straight. But yes, very feisty indeed between these two. MDJ and Glock have got a massive history and I can't wait to see what happens here in Imola. We both saw them make contact as Martin picks up a 3-second time penalty. We both saw them make contact in Brazil at turn 3. But here we are on board with the Williams, right behind the Mercedes. We know Glock is very feisty and he's not willing to give way that easily. Draugen and Makia are fighting, and here he is up the inside. Makia, late on the brakes, he dips the wheel in the gravel like Bottas did back in 2020, which allowed Verstappen through. And here comes Draugen once again. The DRS train has been split due to this mistake, but we're back on board with the leaders to see what happens as Glock is right behind Hurricane. He pulls in front to overtake him for first place once again, but Draugen re-overtakes Makic. Makic's coming back at him into turn 2. We go wheel to wheel, a bit of a shove there. Laser might take advantage. Ramovaj has to go off the curves there. And I was so close to contact indeed between those two. So much action now. The DRS train, the field spread has happened because of that mistake.
Yeah, so it looks like Maka got a little bit too over-enthusiastic. They're going to Rivatsa, overtaking Draugen, and he's actually lost a position to Laser during that whole concept. And now Laser moves up into P7. Now they're 2 seconds behind the top 5 now since they had a little squabble. But Rogue Smithy is playing a very, very smart game here. He's letting the top 4 of the championship contenders fight away while he's just chilling there in P5, literally doing his own thing. He's playing a very, very smart game at the moment.
Yeah, he is indeed. We did see contact between Martin and Rogue Smith. I'm not quite sure what the outcome was because I did read the stewards report but instantly forgot it. I think it came down to a racing incident, so I'm trying to figure out how many penalty points Rogue Smith is on to make, because if he has another one I think he's got a season ban. But that's a shame there for Rogue Smith because he's got some good pace in that Williams tonight. He's always had some good pace, but like I said, he's down to consistency, his racecraft, his racing etiquette. But here we are, lap 10, he's P5 at the moment. Draugen's 1.5 behind. Can he get himself back in this DRS train? Hurricane backs out of it. Smokes ahead of Makia for P8 there, capitalising on the mistake for Makia. Makia's dropping backwards. And here comes Ramovaj up the inside. It's turned to a late lunge there for Ramovaj, but he makes his stick. He's up into P9. Look at that. Smokes had a poor exit to back in the car sliding. That's another free position there for Ramovaj. Thank you very much. I'll take that one indeed. And here comes Jagemal now on the inside of Makia too. So Makia's really struggling. He pushes him off the track. He bounced over the curves and pushed Jagemal off the track there. Oh, Martin's coming around the outside. Took at the 50-metre board. So whoever's winning, no assist. But there's more contact there. Makia's spun again. And here comes Martin now. That was Langfall versus Makia, I believe. They made contact down into turn 7 at Torsa. And now Martin's trying to take advantage of him too. So Makia's having a poor race here. Both Alpines having problems.
Yeah, it's a bit of a poor one today for Alpine, but well done to Ramovaj keeping it out of the way. And now he's promoted himself up into P8 for starting last. So he's now 2.2 behind Laser, who's 6 tenths behind Draugen. And Draugen's literally just from a DRS, literally not far away from Rogue Smithy into the DRS train. Draugen and Laser are back in this race, and especially in the DRS train. So it's going to be a top 7 fight for this position victory. And here comes Hurricane once more.
Hurricane retakes the lead off Glock, but here comes MDJ. He backs out of it, not willing to make any contact whatsoever. I thought he was going to go for a move with the amount of overspeed and ERS he was using. Jagemal is ahead of Martin for P11. I'm watching MDJ because he's right at the tail of the gearbox of Glock, but not able to make the move there. So he stays in P3 for the time being. Try and play the smart game and not make any rash moves whatsoever. He needs to make sure he overtakes him cleanly and ensure he stays ahead once he makes the corners. Draugen there is trying to get back in DRS range. That's when the field split up between himself and Makia because they both made contact down in Rivatsa 1, which ultimately split them up, and now he's trying to get himself back in that DRS range. He's 1.2 behind. Can he get himself back in DRS range before Laser gets on his tail? We'll see. But as we make our way down into Aquamena Raleigh, he's 1.1 behind, so if he gets a good exit out of the barrier to outer chicane, he should find himself under a second and back in that DRS train. But the Williams of Rogue Smithy has got off the track there. We've seen plenty of people run out wide there. It is a difficult chicane indeed if you take too much curb on the exit or pick up the throttle a bit too early, especially in this DRS train here on older tyres with the turbulent air too. You can be very careful, but yes, Draugen has got himself back in DRS and he's brought Laser along too, so that's very good of him to get back in DRS after losing it and being 2.2 seconds behind when that mistake happened between them both. But MDJ...
You want to say because MDJ...
MDJ's right behind, but once again doesn't go for the overtake. He stays behind. Not a place you want to go side by side, but he was so close to hit the back of Glock there into turn 3.
I'll tell you what, MDJ is really thinking about his championship here, because right now it's all about keeping it very nice and tidy. Rogue Smithy is doing a fabulous job keeping Berimi on his toes here. He knows that he can do MDJ a favour here if he can get past that Red Bull, but Rogue Smithy is really playing a really smart game here. He's waiting if Berimi can make a mistake in that Red Bull, but turns out it's not going to be the case so far.
High pressure for all these drivers here in the top 6. Doing a fantastic job. Some of them have run off the road twice, I believe it was, but as we make our way into this difficult corner right here, if you take too much cover on the entry, you can really compromise your exit there. MDJ had a lot of wheels put at the exit, and he's got Berimi all over the back of him. And we saw in that corner too where Berimi made that mistake at the chicane where MDJ just slipped through and split both Red Bulls up. And here we are into P3 then with MDJ on board with the Mercedes man once again, Williams man, sorry. The Mercedes man at Glock stays behind Hurricane. He's probably trying to regenerate some of that ERS. Maybe used a lot of it. We don't know how good Hurricane is at saving ERS. Maybe Glock's trying to do the same thing too as we make our way down his turn 2. Not go for the overtake, harvesting ERS, harvesting fuel and saving tyres at the same time. They're not wanting to lead this train.
I'm very impressed with the top 7 right now. They really are managing this ERS, managing the tyres. Got a little bit screwly there in the chicane there, but can't hold up the place there. But as of right now, Samad makes an overtake on Adams, and that's a position gain for P14. But as of right now, the top 7 are really managing the ERS really well. They really want to put the pressure on each other right now. Of course, Hurricane is managing the lead superbly at the moment. Hasn't even missed a beat out of his day last week in football. But as of right now, the top 7 is doing extremely well, managing the tyres, managing ERS, and managing the track limits here in Imola. They are doing a masterful job.
I'll talk about track limits. Sam has become the latest victim to pick up a 3-second time penalty. We've got 5 drivers who pick up penalties, but I'll see some more. I think Glock went a bit wide himself out of a Vata 2, the final corner, so might have picked himself up a track limit violation there. But Glock, if he stays behind Hurricane, again, he's keeping an eye on MDJ, but he's actually going for the move for the race lead now, so he puts himself back into P1. I think it's best being in P1 and P2 in this race, being that DRS chain, because P3 can't move anywhere. He's essentially stuck on the top 2, keeps switching positions there. So Glock, he needs to make sure he keeps MDJ right behind him, make sure he doesn't overtake him too. But this midfield is getting so tight here, it's unbelievable how close these guys are sticking to the back of each other. Jalgren has caught up to the back of the rear winger. Rogue Smithy wants to claim P5 away. I thought his race would be over, you know, after he made contact into Vata 2 in terms of being detached from this DRS train, because once you detach from the DRS train, it's very hard to get yourself back in it with the guys carrying more speed on the straight and you just struggling to get up there. Even if you don't have DRS, it's just so difficult to try and get yourself back in the DRS train. Even though these guys are dirty of each other, but a track like this, where the straight is so long, you don't want to be detached from this DRS train. Ramavaj in PA, he's trying to keep up with these guys in the medium compound tyres. His pit window should be open, but here he is! Look at this, Jalgren's going for the move. He's had a lovely exit out of the chicane here, and now they go wheel to wheel into Ravazza 1. He'll be very tight there through that corner with those two going side by side. Jalgren is trying to stick around the outside. Can he do it? They both got DRS. Roguesmith has a bit of wheel spin, and Roguesmith is at the pit lane to get rid of those old hard compound tyres. And here comes Hurricane for the lead of this Grand Prix once again.
So Smithy going for an undercut there on the top 5 here. It's a very interesting call there from Rogue Smithy. Maybe he can try pull this off on one to show his great pace.
Let's see then. I think it's a bit early on those hard compound tyres go to the mediums then, so it could be a bit early, but the undercut I think is very powerful around here, so he might catapult himself up to P1 if he has a good outlap. But let's see then, this is where the race starts to change. Berimi a bit squirrely out of turn 7 there, but here is Rogue Smithy. He comes out right behind Atlas, so he best hope that he doesn't get a safety car right now because there's yellow flags. That's Mackie once again, who's had another spin, I believe it was. But yes, Rogue Smithy has to overtake the AlphaTauri as quickly as he can in a clean place. You can see he's carrying a lot of speed, so make sure don't hit the back of him. Very careful indeed. Try to go up the inside into here in this corner. Yes, he does then. So Rogue Smithy goes up the inside in turn 7 and dispatches that AlphaTauri very quickly.
He's got a bit of clean air now, Rogue Smithy, up behind Mackett and Martin. And what's this go down in the midfield? Martin goes up into P8 after a good exit. Aqua Minerale is now up into P8 now. Good move there for Martin. He's got a little bit of clean air in front of him now, but Noldus wants overtaken. And Harry Kane has broken the DRS now of Glock.
Yes, he has. The gap's gone up to 1 second, but Glock did have DRS at a detection point, so it looks like Harry Kane was using a bit to try and pull away from Glock, but it hasn't worked this time. So that was very lucky there for that Glock got DRS, otherwise MDJ would have been overtaken Glock. So these guys haven't pitted, probably extending their stint a bit. Noldus has overtaken Martin, and Rogue Smithy's right behind Mackie, who goes into the pit lane, so that's an easy overtake, and also gets DRS for good measure, so he can boost himself down the straight as well to try and gain some of that time once he pits it. So the undercut is very powerful around here, but these guys are going longer so they can reduce their stint in the mediums to have the best grip towards the end, whereas Rogue Smithy's taking their advantage to go for the undercut, but it might bite him back towards the end of the Grand Prix on those older medium tyres. So let's see who favours who, where the pendulum swings in this race. But that was very lucky for Glock to get himself back into DRS trade, otherwise the guys behind would have pounced on him and he would be dropping down a few positions. But we'll see when these guys pit.
I tell you, I did predict this before. It's a very, very strategical race. Dan said it's a very smart move here by Smithy. So he said it's a smart move by Smithy. Maybe he has, maybe going early might be the best thing he's done today so far. As the top 6 is oh no, not a little big Smithy, I promise. So right now, all these drivers, the top 6 right now, all just playing a very strategical game, saving the DRS, saving the ERS for their best attacks. Of course, they're still on heavy fuel. Lap 17 at the moment, out of 16. These tyres can go up to around 20 to 22 laps at best. Langfell's on the back of Martin now. Can he move done? No. Rogue Smithy fastest lap of the race.
Yeah, Rogue Smithy's absolutely flying on these tyres. It would definitely undercut those guys in front of him. But here comes Adams up the inside of Satamir, who lost the rear brakes and he almost lost the car too for good measure. But MDJ is all over the back of Glock. He looks like he's got more confidence than Williams in the high-speed corners, although he might have made a mistake, and Bear Reeby's right behind him too to take advantage of him. So he's ahead into Aqua Minerale. I'm surprised Bear Reeby hasn't gone for an undercut on these guys, as he was also further down the DRS trade. Rogue Smithy's overtaken Samir, very crucial for him to do that. And now next on his target is Adams. You can see the tyre difference. You've got to be careful when overtaking drivers on older tyres, because they're not carrying the same speed as you, and you might tap the back of him. You can see there, going up the inside, a risky place, he backs out of it. That's very smart there for Rogue Smithy not to go up the inside. It's so tempted to do so on drivers on older tyres. I would have done it too if I was in that scenario, but at the same time, I've got to think about the long game, and he'll wait for the DRS. But Glock is in the pit lane, and expected people to be in the pit lane once again. Rogue Smithy's getting held up by the Aston Martin, and here he is side by side with the Aston Martin, and Adams lets it go. He knows he's not in the same fight as Rogue Smithy, so let's see where Glock rejoins. But the guys in front are staying out. I'm surprised Beary's not pitted yet.
Yeah, well, I wanted to what Red Bull are going to do, because Rogue Smithy now, here he comes down the main street. Glock is about to exit any second now. Here, Glock is just exiting. Smithy overtakes him. Glock is going to be stuck behind some traffic as well for good measure. Rogue Smithy up into P9. 2 more cars to overtake. He's now got clean air, 8 seconds behind Martin. He's got clean air to pound.
Glock's got a bit of clean air too for good measure, otherwise if he rejoins right behind these two, they're going to get held up in the slow speed corners, and therefore Glock's undercut will be effective. But luckily he's got a bit of clean air. Rogue Smithy has rejoined with the 3-lap difference of tyres. That might bite him back towards the end of the Grand Prix for Rogue Smithy, so keep an eye on that tyre offset and the tyres not holding on towards the end of the Grand Prix. But I suspect these 3 or these 2 should be in the pit lane, because obviously Red Bull are not going to double stack. So let's see then.
I'm about to say, Rogue Smithy is currently 22 seconds behind the leader at the moment. On the leader interval at the top. Look at that. Here we go. The leaders are pitting.
Samuel's picked up a 3-second time penalty. The leaders are in the pit lane. Bearimy stays out there as the Williams and the Red Bull crew get to work on the car. And they're on the medium tyres as you expect there. So lap 19 out of 32. Let's see where Rogue Smithy rejoins. He should rejoin in a net P2. Well ahead of these guys with the undercut he's had on those guys for 4 laps. And let's see then where the others come out in contention. Where is Glock? That's the main question too. He overtakes Simon. He's got DRS down the straight. And there they are out of the pit lane. Here comes Glock on Harry Kane. He's overtaken them. But look at this. Swamafaj and Simon too have overtaken Harry Kane. So that's very lovely for Glock, because he's got 2 cars in between himself and Harry Kane too, so that's worked out beautifully in the hands of Glock, having 2 cars in between himself and his championship rivals. There's Harry Kane right
so
behind
crucial.
Samid. We go side by side now into Torsa. Harry Kane's going to risk it on the inside or the outside. Runs a bit wide though, but he should have the overtake done with the amount of traction and grip he has on those medium compound tyres. He pulls alongside the Alpine and overtakes him too, so he's up into P7. One more drive in front of him before he gets to Glock.
And that's Ramovaj up ahead of it on 4-lap-all hards. Maybe Ramovaj is in contention, because you think about the hards, those mirrors will die out at the end. But Ramovaj has got the tyre prices good at the end, towards the end of this race. Keep an eye on Ramovaj, because he's a dark horse for a podium as Barry picks.
Oh, we've got a spinner. That's Samid who spun at the exit of the chicane there. I don't think he got tapped. I think he lost it by himself. Unfortunately, the rear end of the car has been stepping out of him. But I need to sort myself out here with the timings things. Here is Barry exiting the pit lane. Martin is taking the lead of the race for the first time here in SFR this season. Glock sets the fastest lap down the straight. As you can see there, Glock is arriving at such speed. There he is. He exits the pit lane and he's in front of him. Ramage is in front of him. Harry Kane's in front. And here comes MDJ, who rejoins ahead of him too. So Barry's lost a few places, but he's on the fresher tyres out of the lot. He hasn't lost a lot of time either. He's still in the DRS range of MDJ, so this could be very crucial now. With 2 laps left to go, we'll see what happens now towards the end of the Grand Prix. But yeah, very spicy indeed.
So this is all turning out well in the second set of start. So right now, Rogue Smithy is the net race leader. Glock has got his 3-second time penalty, so that will come into effect at the end of the race. So it's all down to it. Derby Ramovaj is on the hard compound tires. Only 5 laps old, so he's kind of fresh in that stint. So he might hold up Harry Kane here. And the best part so Glock will try build a gap away from Ramovaj, and then he'll pull away from Harry Kane. It's going to be very interesting to see how that turns out.
Last time these two came close together, they made contact in Turn 1 of Japan. And they're close together once again with them both being in different scenarios. Rogue Smithy is the effective race leader. Martin is extended instead. He needs a safety car, but there's been so many yellow flags there hasn't been a safety car because Nodus has spun. Harry Kane has overtaken Ramovaj for P4 with the power of the DRS and the freshness of those medium compound tyres now. It's been so difficult for Glock to pull away. Ramovaj picks himself up. 3-second time penalty as well. It all could come down to penalties, but Rogue Smithy hasn't overtaken Martin. He's still stuck behind him. He won't let him go easily, will Martin, but he'll try to defend as much as he can. Rogue Smithy can be very patient at the same time trying to overtake him, but Martin's not making it easy. He must be so frustrated there. Remember, these two are the constructors' fight, Williams versus Mercedes, so this could be very crucial indeed in the championship. But Martin is holding up the Williams. And Rogue Smithy wants to get backs out, so he's not going for a risky move. And he's so frustrated. He goes off the track. He needs to be a bit patient than that, does Rogue Smithy. Now Glock is going to be all over the back of him too.
Smithy lost the rear end there going to the second part of Acomeda Raleigh. Martin has done an absolute brilliant job here. He's brought Glock right into play here on Rogue Smithy.
And here is Rogue Smithy going for a move once again. He's got the DRS then, so this should be an easy overtake, considering the power of the DRS. But Rogue Smithy will be absolutely furious. All the advantage he built up, overtaking these guys. He dives to the pit lane, and that's helped Glock a lot because Martin held up Rogue Smithy for Glock. And here we are with the DRS there. Glock, will he try and go for Rogue Smithy on the lead? Rogue Smithy's straight line speed looks like being effective, but he's derated on the straight. And Glock stays behind him for the time being and does not go for the overtake with the power of the DRS. This is shaped up to be a spicy race here in SFR. Rogue Smithy is the race leader, but the problem is he's on older tyres, and the guys on newer tyres will definitely have advantage towards the end of the Grand Prix for sure. But can Rogue Smithy hold on?
But this is the thing though, if Rogue Smithy can now do a job what Martin did and hold cars over MDJ to take advantage of things. Well, I'll tell you now, he played a very smart race over his Rogue Smithy. One of his best races so far. He's now holding your Glock up now. This has turned into a very high-speed chase of cat and mouse. These all guys are all fighting for the victory. Glock breaks late.
He does indeed, almost ran back as the back of Rogue Smithy. And here comes Harry Kane now, wheel to wheel with the Mercedes driver. But Glock is late to the brakes there, does not allow Harry Kane through. Harry Kane a bit pinched on the curb there, lost a bit of time then, had a bad exit too for good measure. And MDJ will be all over the back of him. Glock, despite having a 3-second time penalty, is not willing to give him because you never know, these guys could pick up a 3-second time penalty too. So he's trying to stay ahead of him as much as he can. But let's see, as we enter the final corner, I think Rogue Smithy will be overtaken by Glock with the DRS. There's no defence for Rogue Smithy Smithy can put up against the mighty Mercedes with the DRS. And here we are. Glock takes the lead of the race, and here comes Harry Kane. Will take Peter away from Rogue Smithy. But for Rogue Smithy's sake, all he's going to do now is stick in his DRS shred if he can.
Now what's he going to do with MDJ? Because MDJ is now behind Rogue Smithy now. Is he going to help MDJ out? MDJ out? Because this is for the fight for the championship. Don't forget. Oh, Rogue Smith! Look at that! MDJ got all screwed up in the second part of the chicane. Ben Remy's not overtaking him.
And Barry was like, yes, you finally made a mistake. I made a mistake and let you through, and now you made a mistake, I'm going back through. So this has worked beautifully for Barry Me too. So I think it's played to the hands of the Red Bull there, as MDJ is behind. That's a very costly mistake indeed. Could have consequences on the championship, but we all know Glock won't win this race due to a 3-second time penalty, but you never know, others in this train will pick a penalty, because I've seen quite a few of them going out deep, so you'll be very careful on warnings on penalties. I'm not going to check the warnings or penalty. I'm not going to check the warnings on these guys, because I don't want to spoil it. I think an Alfa Romeo in the background's got a bit deep, which he has, and now Dragon has overtaken the Alfa Romeo too, so you've got to consider Ramovage starting last from mediums to hards. It's very difficult to keep in this train because he made a lot of overtakes with the medium compound tyres. There's no safety cars to help him, so it's been a good job from Ramovage so far. But yeah, these guys in mediums have definitely benefited. Here comes Harry Kane for the race lead on Glock again. These two in the same position as they were in the first stint.
I'll tell you now, Rogue Smithy will want to take advantage of this because right now he can save the ERS the best he can here behind Glock and Harry Kane. He can make them as his ERS saver. It's all the solar panels, if you want to call it in the electric world. As Rogue Smith got a little bit twitchy there out of the chicane here. But Rogue Smith needs to stay behind Glock and Harry Kane. He can save up that ERS for the best chance of later part of the race. But Barry is not going to try and allow that because he's pressuring all sorts of pressure on him. Go towards this final sector as Samad retires from the race in the pit.
No safety cars and no virtuals have been deployed around the circuit just yet. It's a very safety car track like because in Singapore it's very easy to go off and hit the wall. So we've seen it plenty of times in league racing, but once again we had no safety cars in Saudi Arabia too. So MDJ
3 seconds.
Yes indeed, so MDJ has picked up a 3-second time penalty and that would definitely cost him for the race, but Harry Kane has pulled away from Glock. He's opened the gap to 1 second now, broke the DRS, and now Rogue Smithy will have the DRS at the back of Glock too, so Rogue Smithy could be a contention for a podium. We're about to find out, but here comes Barry now on the overtake. They've both got DRS on Glock ahead. Glock might get swamped by two drivers. Here we are, 3 abreast, as Barry takes 2 for 1, puts himself up into P2. It's a Red Bull 1-2 here in Imola. Rogue Smithy still on the podium with P3.
I'll tell you what, Rogue Smithy was absolutely brave, and look at MDJ and Glock fighting.
Oh, it's going to get very, very fast indeed. Glock stays ahead. It's going to get so tight there. Absolutely no room. Someone's making it 3 abreast. That's Drogo trying to go around the outside. Look at that, trying to make it 3 abreast, but it's not going to work. And MDJ puts himself up into P4. Glock's wiggling around saying, what are you doing? But yeah, it got very fast indeed. I think Glock made a mistake out of turn 3, and MDJ was able to go alongside him and overtake him. So MDJ now is up into P4. He'll be saying to his teammate, Rogue Smithy, get me back in DRS range to protect myself from Glock because I haven't got DRS at the back of you just yet, but now he has.
I'll tell you what, we're going towards the final stage of this race now. Red Bull are in control. The OWR guys, the Norwegian drivers, Barry and Harry Kane, have been absolutely well in control of this race. Like Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez doing absolutely fantastic job. But it's the main fight at the moment. It's the final for this fight for the podium positions.
Here we are then on lap 26 out of 32, 6 laps left to go. Both Red Bulls are checked out, but remember what both Red Bulls said, it's a free-for-all now. And here we are, MDJ's ahead of Rogue Smithy. Dragon's got past, but he is down the inside, makes contact! He outbroke himself, Rogue Smithy goes off the track, and also Glock goes off the track. He gets himself a 3-second time penalty, and that all happened because Dragon outbroke himself into turn 2, defending from Glock, and now Glock's under massive pressure. Here we are side by side with the Alfa Romeo spun! Oh no!
Oh no, and don't forget, Laser has got no penalties at the moment. Laser is now in position for the podium. And
Come on.
Glock, it's all kicking off now here in Division 1 once again.
Come on, Laser, let's get a podium for once. He hasn't had a podium since the 3rd race of this season. He was on a podium streak, but now he can sniff himself a podium. He's on good tyres, he's on better tyres than Rogue Smithy, so we've got to make sure he sticks to the DRS there. But you never know if Rogue Smithy could drop out the DRS of MDJ due to the tyre advantage that MDJ has on his own teammate. But for once, it wasn't the Williams versus Mercedes contact, it was Draugen who outbroke himself. And he took out Rogue Smithy. He's still in P4, but he gets himself a 3-second time penalty. It looks like Rogue Smithy was a contention for a podium. He still is, by the way, because... Well, no, actually he's not, because Laser hasn't got a 3-second time penalty. But let's see there, both Williams are close together. So Red Bull 1-2, and here comes Berimi for the lead of this race. These two said it's a free-for-all until the last few races of the Grand Prix to decide the championship. So these two running their own race. They're not running 1 and 2. It's going to be a free-for-all between these two. So it could get very spicy between both Red Bulls here in Imola.
I'll tell you now, you cannot even predict anything in Division 1 when it comes to fighting, but we are predicting a Laser podium. Who would have thought this? Laser has not had a podium since, what, the third race of the season, and this is unbelievable stuff from the McLaren driver. Laser in contention for a podium, but is the Rogue Smithy penalty a little bit harsh though, because he was in that fight with Glock and Draugen, and he had to force himself out wide to not get himself into any sort of bother. Is Rogue Smithy going to appeal that 3-second time penalty on one there?
You can be very careful, Laser Lord. He knows there's a podium in front of him, right there in front of him. just stick in the DRS of those two. You don't have to go for any moves, although you love to be on the podium on track because of pride, obviously. But at the same time, you're looking for your first podium since a while ago. Here comes Hurricane on his own teammate. I can hear your controller vibrate to the background. I thought it was a cat purring, but it's actually your controller.
No, it's not. It's actually my doggy. Actually, my doggy, who's happily snorting away. A nice puggy, to say the least. It's my puggy dog. Name's Carla. Welcome to the stream.
I thought it was the cat I heard, then I thought it was your...
No.
I thought it was a controller too, because the controller does vibrate once on the curves. But yeah, Hurricane has overtaken Berimi. Berimi then right behind his teammate. These two, unlike real F1, close together in the Red Bull camp, fighting for P1 there is Hurricane and Berimi. In the midfield, we've got Marth Mackey up into P11 ahead of Noldus. Haven't mentioned much of these guys, obviously, but they had their own suffers in this race. I think Mackey spun a few times in this race, but he's still in P11. Simon has retired from this race. We didn't catch that because all the action going on throughout the whole field. But yeah, can you blame us? There's been so much action here at the top of the field. Unfortunately, Simon has retired in the pit. I think I did catch it, as I did remember mentioning now that Simon did retire in the pit lane.
Yeah, he did.
Probably forgot.
And also, you've got to mention as well, Smoke's in the top 10 at the moment in the Haas car, doing a very fine job at the moment, sticking ahead of Jagamel at the moment. So Smoke's doing a very fine job for the Haas team at the moment, with Jagamel right behind him. So Smoke doing a very good work here, as Laser is all over the back of both of the Williams drivers.
Something happened to Rogue Smithy as Berimi overtook Hurricane for P1. But yes, something happened there to Rogue Smithy in the penultimate corner. I'm not quite sure what happened, but Laser's up into P4 because the gap went from 2.2. I think Rogue Smithy might have outbroke himself into Ravazza 1 because Laser was right there. I'm not quite sure if Laser made contact with Rogue Smithy. Either way, he's lost a lot of time towards MDJ. MDJ's now free from the DRS. Can he break that 3-second gap towards Laser and stay on the podium? Noldus is ahead of Mackey again for those personal scrap for P11 in this race, but it's all spiced up between both Red Bulls in the battle for P3.
And the funny thing is that both Red Bulls not really losing any time to each other because they're just overtaking each other on the DRS straight. So MDJ's needs to get a move on here as Martin picks up his 3-second time penalty. But Razor's 2.1 behind MDJ. MDJ has got that 3-second time penalty, so he's right now in the Laser in the driving seat at the moment in time. But Rogue Smithy is not going to try and allow him to get this podium. He wants to overtake Laser and give MDJ this podium.
Yes, so MDJ is losing time towards both Red Bulls. The victory will be a Red Bull driver, but which one? Hurricane or Berimi? Both in the championship fight. Here comes Hurricane on Berimi, constantly swapping DRS. But we'll see who's first in the DRS on the last lap. That will determine who will win the Grand Prix. Will it be Hurricane? Will it be Berimi? Berimi's going for his second win of the season. And Rogue Smithy's overtaking Laser again. And here we are, up into turn 2. Laser trying to stick on the inside. They're going to lose a lot of time. Rogue Smithy's on the grass. And Laser is in P4. But the gap is 3.2. The podium has disappeared.
Rogue Smithy did an absolute brilliant job there to give MDJ the gap he needs to get the podium. Absolute brilliant job here from Rogue Smithy. He's giving Laser all sorts of bother.
Yeah, Laser, that's a shame there. And I should be unbiased, but we all want to see Laser on the podium after being out there for a long time. But these two make contact, Noldus and Mackey, and Glock will take 2 positions away from them both. But yeah, it's a shame for Glock in this race too, because he was fighting at the top of the field, and it was all Dragon who broke himself and tapped the back of Laser, tapped the back. Glock's got another penalty. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers in this race haven't picked up a penalty. If a safety car comes out now, Atlas could jump from P17 to P5 with no penalties, but it's too late for a safety car. Here is Berry in the final corner with the DRS once again. What will he do? Will he sit behind Hurricane in the last last few laps of this Grand Prix and overtake him on the final lap into turn 2? He actually goes for the overtake now. Will he have to pay the consequences later? Will Hurricane get to the last lap? Well, we're about to find out. How much ERS has Berry got to defend from Hurricane?
Depends, innit? Depends how much. Both Red Bulls are actually on similar ERS, so they're not really losing anything. Laser is only 3.1 behind MDJ, and Laser needs to gain another 2 more little tenths to get underneath the 3-second barrier for MDJ. This is all coming down to time once again. It's like Mexico all over again, but for P3, Laser just needs 4 more tenths. 4 more tenths Laser to get his podium, but he needs to push really, really hard.
He's going to push as hard as he possibly can, has late to get the gap under 3 seconds, but the main battle between both Red Bulls, here we are then. Which one of these two will win the Grand Prix? Berry, if he wants to win, he needs an excellent release off the final corner to keep Hurricane at bay at turn 2 as we head towards Ravata 1 and Ravata 2. Let's see what happens here. Can Berry get a good exit at the last corner? There we are then, the ERS is being used between the two in attack and defence mode. We're on the last lap of the Grand Prix, and here we are then with Hurricane overtaking Berry, and he puts himself back into P1. I don't think Berry can do anything about it now, unless Hurricane picks up a 3-second time penalty or makes a mistake. But yeah, I think Berry wished he stayed behind his teammate when he had the chance to overtake him and do the exact same thing. But the battle for P3 looks like it's over now. And looks like the battle is P4, P5 and P6 with Laser versus Rogue Smithy on the old medium compound tyres. Rogue Smithy went for an undercut on these guys, did lead the Grand Prix, then slowly went down the field due to the tyre difference indeed between all the rest of the guys. Glock is down to 50th place, going for the fastest lap, trying to regain something in this race to make sure they try and get as many points as he can off MDJ. But I think the battle for P1 and P2 is over. What a fantastic race. Safety car free, no virtuals or no safety cars. It's been a fantastic race from the get-go from lap 1. There's been a bit of contact indeed between these drivers. Some drivers won't be happy. Laser, who knew there was a podium chance on offers, but unfortunately his battle with Rogue Smithy cost him a lot of time towards MDJ. I think MDJ cemented on the podium for the time being. But here we are then between both Red Bulls, Berry and Hurricane, who said they're having a free-for-all until the very last race of the season, I think. But here we are then. No! Hurricane's going to let him go! Here's the DRS! Let's have a look! Berry, he's going to win the race! What's happening? Is this... Oh my god!
They want to do the closest multiple time! That's brilliant, wow!
Oh, Hurricane there, would he regret that move? Will he regret it? He missed the last race last week, and now he let his teammate win. Will he regret it? Because both Red Bulls are close to the championship.
MDJ will be happy with a P3 though. After a very hard race, MDJ will be very happy with P3. Rubberbots is starting last, he will finish 6th. Martin finishes 10th. Glock in 14th. He'll be very angry after today with Dragon and Rogue Smithy. He's still fighting away at the moment. Just passing Lord Daddy Boy. What will Glock be thinking after this race, I wonder?
According to Daniel, both Red Bulls will be equal on points. So
wow.
Fair and square between the two, equal. And we're going to see a big championship fight between those two in the next coming races.
I'll tell you now, that was a really good race. Well done to Laser. P4 almost getting his podium, but this is going to wait a little bit longer. Maybe he could get it at China. We do not know. Ramavar's driving the day on the game. I might tend to agree with that. Ramavar, fantastic drive from him.
Yeah, started last in the race, and I think he finished in P6 or 7 at the end. Not quite sure which one it was, but yes, it was a great drive indeed. No help due to safety cars or virtuals. He did it by himself on pure pace. What could he have done if he started up there? Yes, it's P6, so P20 to P6. with pure pace. That's a fantastic drive there from Ramovac. Both Haas's are in the points. Martin picks himself up a cheeky point too. But yes, both Red Bulls swapping positions. Berimi there and Harry Kane swapping towards in the end. What was Harry Kane thinking in his mind? Why did he do that? Will it cost him the championship? Every single point matters here because we've only got about 7 races left towards the end of the season then. So Harry Kane missed a race last week and he let his teammate win. That's a whole lot of points lost. Will he regret it? Who knows? But Laser, once again, he is so close, but yet so far from a podium. Once again, in this race, he's always in the top 5 in every single race this season, except Monza, where he got crashed out. But he's always been there in the top 5, but just so far away from a podium. It's so frustrating there for Laser. Got to wait another week to do it.
I'll tell you what, I think Red Bull was trying to do the Rage Hunter, if I don't know if you were around at this point, Rage Hunter and Calvin in Canada I think it was a load of seasons ago. They finished the closest finish ever in SFR, like under a tenth of a second. It was unbelievable finish. It was an absolutely unbelievable finish. But what a race though! Definitely up there with Mexico. I feel it'll be the second most exciting race of the season, in my virtual opinion. But yeah, that was really, really good. Well worked, Imola Grand Prix. Cannot wait for China. This championship fight is definitely going down to the wire. Berimi and Harry Kane are here. Both Red Bull drivers are in the party.
Waiting for the third place man to start for Thursday first, as we always do. We're just waiting for MDJ to join the party. And it's going to be a very interesting discussion between both Red Bull drivers to see what Harry Kane was thinking. Because it looked like Berimi didn't want to win the race. He looked like he backed off. But then Harry Kane says, nope, you're going to win this Grand Prix. But either way, Red Bull gained maximum points. So that would definitely help him in the Constructors. But we'll wait for MDJ to join the party if he's here or not. MDJ, you here? No, he's not here. So we'll wait for him. In fact, we'll start with Harry Kane first. Then we go to MDJ if he does join. So, Harry Kane, mate. You just gifted your Red Bull teammate the victory.
MDJ's here.
We'll start with it. We'll start with Harry Kane because we might as well now. Harry Kane, mate, you just gifted your win to your Red Bull teammate. What was going through your mind and why did you do it?
Yeah, the thing is that we did a good job. I don't think I would have gotten that big of a gap if he wasn't there. And yeah. I don't know. We are equal on points in the championship before this round, and yeah, I don't know. I think I got a bit more wins than him, and yeah, I thought he deserved this today.
Oh, you're very kind because I would have not done it at all. I would have won the race, but yeah, you're very kind in that matter. But sometimes kindness can kill and can cost you a championship too. But yeah, it's been a fantastic race though. You're up there throughout the whole race as well. Both you and your teammate did a fantastic job, especially Berimi coming back through the field after making a few mistakes, letting MDJ go. But yeah, just your plan was sticking the DRS train until the last few laps of the Grand Prix, they go for the overtake.
Yeah, we kind of knew that we had a setup that worked better in the second stint with lower fuel. So we just stuck with the train, and yeah, it worked out. I got too early track limit, so I was anxious from like lap 10 to get a penalty, and then in the second stint I saw both MDJ and Glock get a pen, so yeah, that was good.
Yeah, we did see that Glock and MDJ picked up penalties. Were you a bit relieved to that? Did it ease off the pressure you had?
Yeah, very much. I don't think I would have stayed penalty free if they didn't get a penalty. I was very nervous after I came out of the pit, because when I push I tend to be a bit less careful with track limits, especially on this track, and yeah, it was good to see them taking the first.
Yeah, good indeed, and this really helps you in the Constructors' Championship because you gain maximum points over both Williams and Mercedes then. So how are you feeling for the championship fight now? Because you obviously had your absence last week, but this week you came back with a banger. You took pole, should have took the win, but you gave it to your teammate because you're very nice indeed. And how are you feeling for the next few races? In China, I think the China's next one.
China, but I'd said the same for Imola. So I think we can make some good progress in the championship next round as well.
Were you ever nervous about Rogue Smithy and Glock 2 in the race because they were both very close to you? Were you a bit nervous that Rogue Smithy might pressure you because he's trying to help out DJ in the championship?
No, I don't think I was nervous of him pressuring me, but I was nervous if he was going to let past MDJ, because MDJ was quick today. The only thing was he lost a bit of time in the pits, and I think that was the thing that got me and Remy the win today.
Yeah, did your Red Bull teammate came back very strong after his mistakes in the opening laps of the Grand Prix, but congratulations Harry Kane, mate. You did a fantastic job today, and hopefully you can get close to the championship. I think you overtake Glock in the championship, and you put yourself back into P2, and Barry also goes third place, so you both leapfrog ahead of Glock, getting close towards MDJ. Are you worried about MDJ in the next few races as well?
Yeah, I think you always have to be worried about MDJ. He is very quick on almost every circuit. The only thing is we can hope that it rains, because I think we have a bit more pace than him in the rain. But yeah, I think Remy will be second in the constructors now in the standings.
But I think you've got more wins than him. I think he's got his second win, you've got your third. If
yeah,
it works
but
that way.
He gets more points.
Oh,
I'm like 3 points ahead of him.
yeah, fair enough, mate. And Oliver, you got any questions for Matthias?
Yes. What be at the early part of the race there, when pretty much all 9 of you guys were in that DRS chain, caught you at the top with Glock and Bear Ream and MDJ. What was your strategy? Because you were swapping positions a lot with Glock. Was there a point in the race where you need to stay behind for ERS saving, fuel management, or was it just still going all out attack during the early stages of the race?
No, it's never really going all out attack in the start. I got a bad start, was boxed in a bit, and yeah, I don't know what happened in the second corner. But yeah, I think I have good ERS management. I had 100% battery from lap 1 to 10. So yeah, I was just staying in train and not using anything. I tried to break the train a couple of times. It didn't work. So yeah, it was just settling in and waiting for the pits to start.
Well done on your second place. Well done, Harry. Well done.
Yeah, thanks.
We move on.
Matthias is his name.
we move on to MDJ then. So, Mackie, look at you, mate. Do you think your mistake, I can't remember which corner it was, out of Torsa, Vilda chicane cost you today because you allowed the other Red Bull through, and therefore both Red Bulls could work together to try and prevent you to overtake them?
Well, I was reacting to my teammate ahead, and because of that, my car just started to slide, and that was the reason why Baremy got ahead. But Baremy was very quick, and I don't think I would have kept him behind. Sure, we would have fought a lot, but he had more pace at that point, and me fighting with Glock didn't help Peter, and let Harry Kane and Baremy get away with like 3 seconds. So yeah, they both had very good pace, and I wasn't able to get close again with the 3 second time penalty. So I was just trying to do some damage limitations and finish on third.
Were you a bit nervous about Laser toward the end too, because he was in the DRS of you and Smithy, and also he didn't pick up a penalty, but I think I don't know what happened between those two. They were Ravazza won, if they made contact or went deep, but once you saw the DRS break, I bet you thought that's your biggest chance to pull away from Laser to get that 3 second time penalty advantage.
Well, I knew that my teammate Smithy didn't have the pace, so all I had to do was drive away from the DRS, and then from that point you saw the gap forming big time on that lap. and then I don't know what happened. They tried to fight or something, and that made the gap bigger and bigger. So it kind of helped me at the end.
Yeah, that was very interesting. That 2-1. I didn't get a good view of it, but yeah, it definitely helped you with the podium too. Because if it wasn't for that, I think Laser would have stuck in the DRS. You and Martin, not you, you and Smithy. But you said you had the pace, the tyre advantage, and the pace advantage to try and pull away from Smithy at the same time. So yeah, that's worked out for you in the end. But was it overall being stuck in the DRS train from start to finish that cost you? Because you weren't able to move anywhere really, essentially.
Well, it's basically impossible to take in this track once you're in third or fourth. So you just have to wait for mistakes. And that's basically what happened all race. Being the fourth guy or third guy in the line, so not being able to do anything is frustrating. While seeing Harry Kane or Barremi drive away, so yeah, it was frustrating. And then when Glock had his moment, it helped me up even more. I tried to make a move, but we had some contact through the corner, which is fine. Like nothing big happened, but it is something that keeps happening every week again. So yeah.
To be fair to Glock, he did have Jargon around the outside in Torso, which made it 3 wide. So Glock was in the middle of that sandwich, had nowhere to go. So yeah, that's it is.
No, I know of that corner. I was talking about the corner before that.
Oh, photo chicane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a very tight corner. The nature of that corner is very tight. You're bound to make contact, no matter who you are. So yeah, I've seen it plenty of times and also experienced myself. But how are you feeling for the Chinese Grand Prix then?
I have zero fate. No, I'm absolutely horrendous in China. So we'll see what's gonna happen. Probably gonna be somewhere in P5, P6. This is going to be the race where Harry Kane is going to close up in the championship.
Do you?
Sorry, if it rains, then it'll be even lower. My race pace is basically 0, so yeah, it's going to be fun.
Qualifying has been a downer for you too. We saw it a few races ago. We've seen it here in Imola, where you've validated twice. Do you think you need to work on a bit more your qualifying pace too? Try and get closer towards the top and try and break away from the train essentially? Or be in third or in the DRS train, be close to that train. Be at the top of the train basically, yeah.
Well, I could have qualified way higher if I didn't, spin or invalidate. Because I had the pace to qualify on a really good position, maybe P2 or P3. I don't know, but I don't know. Yeah. So, but I think from what I'm doing right now, qualifying low and finishing high is what I'm supposed to do right now, because that's helping me in the championship at the moment.
Christopher Dean, MDJ. Congrats on another P3, mate. And Oliver, hand over to you for MDJ.
So what we'll be going towards now in the final 7 rounds of the championship now. We've now got another Mr. Podium consistent at the moment with another P3. We're finishing inside the top 3. Is that someone is now finishing in the top 3 now for this championship, going to the final 7 rounds of the season?
That's not my plan. I'm trying to get some more wins, if you don't mind. No, but if I want to win this championship, I need to be at least second every race, and then Harry Kane has to win then. So, but that's not gonna happen. I will be in a lot of P3s or P4s, so I need to get some wins to counter that and win the championship at the end.
And Rogue Smithy tonight, was it one of his best performances of the season tonight?
Well, he had some good pace today. I thought that his undercut was a bit too much. I knew that the tires would have died long before we went to the pit, so we would have been way quicker than him when we are going out of the pits, when we're on fresh tires. So yeah, I thought he should have pitted a bit later than what he did. So yeah, it didn't help him.
But what do you think for Williams now? If Rogue Smith gets back out there in China, do you think you two could definitely work together to take down Mercedes and Red Bull for next week?
We're trying. I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but we're definitely trying.
Well, good luck for China. Absolutely well done on another P3.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, baby me, I'm sorry you had to wait so long, but that's the pleasure of being first place. But baby me, your second race for the season, mate, but not the way you expected it. I bet you two were communicated. It's like who crossed the line first.
Yeah, we did. But
Were you surprised about that? You let you through?
I talked to him when we started the final lap, and I just told him that I was fine with the second place, and I wouldn't fight him in the last on the last lap and risk losing everything, both of us. So I just told him he could have the win, and maybe we could swap around the next time. But, I don't really know what happened, so it was nice to hear what was in his mind. So yeah, I think he just on the finish straight he just took the pace down, and I started to do the same, and then he braked, and suddenly I was over the line and had won. So that was really strange, but it was a good result for us both, and yeah, it was nice with a win.
Yeah, the first stint as well. I think you dropped behind Draugen because you tried to overtake MDJ, or did you go off the track? I can't remember who it was now, but you went off the track, didn't you, in the Valiant chicane, and you allowed MDJ through. So I bet you were kicking yourself with that one because you split yourself up and allowed MDJ to get in the middle of you, but you managed to get him back due to that mistake. So that definitely helped you get yourself forward.
Yeah, I had a few mistakes today, and that was a few mistakes too much, I guess. The first one was in the last push lap on the qualifying. I knew I was around 13.8, and I managed to go off track in the same chicane. So and invalidated my time. So that was the reason why I was behind the Glock on the from P3, and in the same chicane I lost out to MDJ, and I thought it was fair to let him by when I did that mistake. So, but unfortunately he had a really good pace or a top speed on his car, so it was not easy to get the place back. So I just decided to wait and save ERS for the last stint and pit late, so I could have the tire advantage and try to fight back, and that worked.
Yeah, you did an amazing job fighting your way back through the field too, and yeah, you've really come alive in this championship now because you're level pegging with your own teammate Harry Kane, who's had a few wins this season as well, been up there quite a lot. That driver transfer before Baku has really paid out for you two because Red Bull have gained a lot of constructor championship points as well. So I think you two being paired up is the best thing ever, and I wish I had a teammate like yours that let me win on the final corner. So yeah, it really did benefit you in the end, but. Are you nervous about the next few races because you've got to contend with Glock, MD, and your own teammate? Are you nervous about I know championship rivals between teammates can get very heated. Are you nervous about it?
No, not at all. We are great friends and training partners, driving a few nights every week together. So it's a few evenings Sorry. So no, not at all. We are good friends, and thanks for him for letting me win today, and I'll try to make it up next time.
Yeah, you've been on form this season, Barry. I mean, the last few races as well. We're getting your first win in Brazil, picking up a few podiums now and then. Should have been at the podium in Mexico, but obviously your teammate had the lag issue. But ever since then, you've been really on top of things as well. So it's going to be a great championship fight between you, your teammate Clark, MDJ, Laser, Roguesmith, and others as well if they do get involved in the championship fight. But yeah, it's going to be a feisty one. And are you thinking about the championship during the race? Are you thinking about what happens if I do this, what happens if I do that?
I'm not really sure. I don't think so. I think the constructor championship will be ours if we just finish the season and keep on delivering strong results. And I think both me and Harry is in really great form at the moment, and hopefully we can fight MTJ for the championship, the driver championship. But let's see what happened on the next track and the few tracks that are left.
I am intrigued to see how your story goes in the next few races, both of your stories, because you could be helping each other, but towards the end, near the end of the season, where Portugal, Las Vegas, and Britain, it could really change things as well in terms of championship. So, if you are in a championship fight towards the end of the season, both you and your teammate, it's going to get very spicy indeed, and therefore no team orders. You go flat out between both of you, like me and MDJ did in a few years ago. But yeah, you're doing a great job so far this season. Keep it up. And Oliver, you got any questions for Barry B?
Yeah. How much of has? Sorry, you can probably hear my dog sleeping away. Sorry about that. Basically, how much has Harry Kane has influenced you ever since the driver switched from going into Red Bull? How much has it been an influence?
I don't know. I don't know what to answer to that. Not that much, I guess.
I mean, it's got to be must be a big influence, isn't it? I mean, go from the Aston Martin now into Red Bull. I mean, that's a massive jump. Go from where you were when you're in Baku, then of course Monza, to where you are now. It is a massive jump. I think Harry Kane has definitely taken you under his wing and definitely showed you a couple of things here and there. I think that might be the case.
I think
I understand. I think I understand your question. What happened to me in the start of the season? I was not that motivated, and there was many tracks which I don't like that much. So I had a bad start, and I think I was around 5th, 6th place, and I had a few races where I finished further down the order. So, but now I think there has been many tracks with medium speed corners, which I really like. So, and it looks like and also the top speed corners suits me. But every time there's a slow speed corner, I can't figure it out what's wrong with me. It must be something in my head. I don't know. But it's helped with the motivation, and we are driving together. And I think I have won all the practices on this track against Harry this week. So I guess we have a good pace, both of us, and it's great to have him as a partner and a teammate, and practice with him and Drogen, which also is a really strong driver.
So you did mention about you're more comfortable in the high speed tracks. You got China and of course a very high speed track of Qatar in a couple of weeks. Is there any other tracks that you're really looking forward to? You could definitely take advantage of.
Yeah, both them and Portugal, and also Silverstone is really a good track for me. So I hope I can finish strong this season, and maybe we can take the fight with MDJ, but he has a great advantage with points. So let's see.
Well done on your victory, Barry. Massive congrats.
Well, that is it for the Imola Grand Prix. What a venue, what a show Imola has put on as well. No safety cars or virtuals. We move on to the Chinese Grand Prix next week, but also we are here in China this weekend for the Formula 1 Grand Prix since 2019. We'll see what China has to deliver. Maybe another Max Verstappen nomination as predicted. But here for SFR, we'll see you later. And once again, Oliver, thank you for being company with me.
Oh, it's been a pleasure.
You too, and we'll see you all at 7:30 next Tuesday at China.